y'all just enjoy. Come check out the show. Sorry about that. Some good old Matty Ice just joined us. We're gonna go ahead and get him in here real quick. And then there we go, Matty Ice. I'm trying some new things, fellas. So let's get this intro going as soon as I can figure out where I just put this thing. That's what happens when you try new stuff.
What is that's mentality? What it is? The mentality of taking care of family. As a man, I get lonely. I can't even call my homies, but I answer every call when my kids call me. I'll be there when they need me. They depending on me. They looking up to me. Sometimes we gotta fix our mental. Or maybe it's not meant to be a dad, a father, that's what men do. I made a promise to my kids, that's what I do. I just want them to do things better than I do. Or better yet, better things that I did. What is that's mentality? What it is? The mentality of taking care of family. As a man, I get lonely. I can't even call my homies, but I answer every call when my kids call me. I'll be there when they need me. They depending on me. They looking up to me. Welcome to the show, shout out to the coach. And Matty Ice, Ice Cold Crypto. And each one, teach one. That's mentality, we just trying to reach one. What is, that's mentality.
Oh, hello. It's Dad's Mentality. It's your boy, the Beast One. Welcome to another week episode. As y'all know, I don't do it by myself. I got my man, $1 million grand. You know, we've been together since we were in the sandbox. And, as we 4 years old, y'all know Vance Robs, a.k.a. Coach. What's going on, Coach?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing today, man?
What's good? Like the hat, bro. Like the hat.
Yeah. Whatever.
We gonna get into you know, how we feel this week. I know I'm feeling good this week, but you know, of course, you got my other man, $1 million grand. Y'all know him as a diversified hustler. Y'all know him as the ice cream man. Y'all know him as wealthy and blessed. It's our man, Matty Ice Cold Crypto. What's up, Matty Ice? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself, fellas?
Man,
hey, what's up, bro?
I'm doing good. So, also, I mean, I got this guy. I've been waiting to have him on the show. He is I say an international man of comedy. I mean, you can catch him everywhere. He's all over, flying here and there. But instead of me giving him his intro, I'm gonna go ahead and show a little bit of his comedy and let him introduce himself. And then we can go there and we can talk to him after that. So y'all check this out. This is my man, Philip Page. Nice if I hit the volume. Got it.
It's all good. I like talking about white people. Every black man should have at least 2 white friends. One for a friend, one for an alibi. I got 3. I keep a spare. But as you see, I'm a double minority. I'm fat and I'm black. A lot of my friends don't like it when I say that shit, but I figure you can do something to fix one of them. Now, how the hell am I gonna stop being black? Oh, Lord. But I'm a big guy. And being a big guy, I deal with big ass situations. Like, I never met a meal I didn't like. I took a young lady out to dinner. She asked me if I wanted to share a meal. Do I really look like I ever shared a meal? That shit is real. But as a big guy, I like big women. Because I feel like we have a lot in common. I feel like we share the same literary interests. We both like reading menus. Seriously. Because reading menus kind of like reading a book and get a treat at the end, or is it just me? I used to have a drinking problem. I found that shit was starting to interfere with my drug problem. I used to smoke a lot of weed. I still can't remember why I stopped. But I got questions. Like, what the hell are edibles? Exactly how much weed do you have to smoke before you decide to eat your weed? That shit is real.
I know that's right.
But it's all good. Like I said, I got relationship issues. For some reason, my wife and my girlfriend don't get along at all. Seriously, a lot of couple. You off for the night? Because you kind of remind me of my ex-wife. Sitting in the club with another man. I ran into my wife in the movies with another guy, and I was hurt, and I really didn't know what to say. I looked at my girlfriend. She said, I probably shouldn't say shit. I used to date a midget chick. It was a real short relationship. I had to break over the ass and feel bad about it because she really used to look up to me. Seriously. Shit is crazy. You might got kids in here. I got kids. I like your kids. I hate my damn kids. I got a 13 with it.
All right, that's just a little snippet of something. You can see his comedy. You can catch him on October 12th in Aberdeen, Maryland. You can catch, I know next month you'll be in Missouri, I think, and then after that you're going to be in Vegas in December. So, you know, you got to catch this man everywhere. You can definitely catch him in the DMV area if you're watching. But I'll let him tell more about those shows. But he's also an activist. He's part of Streetline DC. He's against gun violence, even though he's a brother like ourselves that does believe in gun education. But you know, we're glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us, Philip Page. How you doing, sir? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, baby, man. I appreciate y'all having me here, man. You know, yeah, you know, any platform I can get on to talk about what's going on out in these streets, man. You know, to try to enlist help for our young brothers out there, man. You know, because they're out there killing each other, man. It's kind of ridiculous, man. And you know, we need to get out there and do our part, man, for real. You know, ain't no them without us, and ain't no us without them, man. You know, I always say, are you our brother's keeper? Hell yeah, we our brother's keeper. You think differently, you wrong.
There you go. I hear you, brother. I hear you for sure. Do you want to go ahead and get your plugs out the way where people can find you, where people can see you, if they want to follow you and stuff like that, Phil?
Okay, yeah, you can follow me at Let's Get Ready to Funny Productions. You know, that's where I do my comedy shows under. Like my man B said, I'm going to be at the Aberdeen, at the VFW in Aberdeen. Then I'm heading out to Missouri. You can catch me in St. Roberts, Missouri on October the 18th. Then after that, I'm going to be in D.C. It's at Sully's nightclub on 11th and U on the 30th. And I got some other stuff. Be heading out to Vegas on the December 6th. You know, in the meantime, I got some other stuff coming up too.
And December the 6th, he will be heading out to Vegas to hang out with Brenda Brown and Sauce in the city. As you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and put it right here. This is her shirt. You can find it. You can find it in the stores near you. It helps fund that, and also, you know, it helps down in the corner. I don't know if y'all can see that. It says "fuck cancer." So it's also a shirt helping for that. Also, later in the episode, I'll put the plug up for where you can buy it and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put it in the comments. Just so everybody does remember, we are live. You can comment in the comment, ask questions if you have anything for us. Phil would definitely get to your comments. But right now, we're going to do our mental health check-in. If anybody is out there that wants to check in, please check in the comments, and we'll discuss it and also talk for us. So I'm gonna go ahead and go first this week because I'm feeling good this week. You know, my mental health check-in, I'm definitely I'm gonna go about an 8.5. I'm keep on moving up. You know, things are still tough on certain areas of my life, but you know, hey man, when you got to celebrate your wins, man. That's, you know, and this week was definitely a win because FanDuel was paying yesterday. FanDuel was paying a brother, so I definitely came up on the bets. Not only did I come up on the bets, my Commanders showed up and showed out against the Browns, where some people were doubting what they were going to do. Told me, oh, you know, we're going to see this week, they're going to play a real defense and all this other kind of stuff. And next thing I know, they put up, 34 points. It was that wasn't even the fourth quarter yet. I was like, oh, my goodness, you know, putting them points up, defense showed up and everything. So, you know, I'm happy about that. I'm also happy. Thank you, Brenda Brown, for putting that link up for me. See, Brenda Brown is in the background helping us out. and put the link up where you can buy these shirts right here. So please check that out. And also, what else happened this weekend? I just had a good weekend with the family. Spent time with the wife. The wife did go on a retreat, so me and my daughter kind of did a daddy-daughter weekend type thing where we watch. Hey, it's this new show called Found that I found out on Peacock. Now the coach got me watching Fight Night. So it's called Found, and it's from the girl that was in Shameless, and she's the head star. Her name was V on Shameless. I don't even know her real name, but it's a good show for I really feel like to watch about teenage with a nice teenager to watch, because it's about people being kidnapped and taken, and then this agency is looking for the kids that are not are not the daughters of senators and stuff like that don't really have a voice that people are looking for on the active. So I thought it was a great show. My daughter really loved it, but it is one of those shows that every show it tugs at your heart. So unless you don't got a soul and you don't cry, you're gonna be tearing up. I've barely made it past, especially when they deal with the kids, them episodes without at least cracking a tear or two. You know what I'm saying? I be holding it in, but it's all good. I'm emotionally stable, so I'm all good with it. But it's a great thing, man. Just so Found, if you can watch it with your teenagers. It was great. I also watched The Uglies. That was great too. So, but I'm a 8.5, had, a good weekend hanging out with my daughter while the wife was out of town, and my wife got that spiritual healing she needed. So, I can see Vance is itching to go next. So I'm going to go ahead and let Coach go next. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, man. No, man, this week, you know what I'm saying? Last couple weeks I've been at 6.5. I'm probably like a 7.5 this week. You know what I'm saying? A little bit better week for me. So things are getting back to somewhat normal. You know what I'm saying? So I think, you know what I'm saying? All in all, it was a good week. I did watch. I'm glad you watched those two things, and my recommendations, you know what I'm saying, were actually decent. So I didn't get fried for that this week. You know what I mean? So that was good. Y'all Commanders won. I'm wearing the hat. I kept the tag in the hat though, so they'll just notice going back as soon as the show is over with. Ain't gotta worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the Commanders fans, man. You know what I'm saying? You guys got yourself a quarterback, which I did say that last week. So, you know what I'm saying? And, he's a difference for you guys. Other than that, FanDuel wasn't as good to me as it was to Beast, but you know what I'm saying? Broke even pretty much. So that was pretty good for the week. Kids are doing well. Oldest is home this weekend. She came home for, I think, Morgan's homecoming this weekend. So, you know what I'm saying? She's in town out and about. So it was good having her around the house. And the younger ones are doing pretty well. So, and the wife is doing well. So coming along a busy time, you know what I'm saying? So I still got some progress to make, you know what I'm saying, both mentally and physically, but at least moving in the right direction now. So
Absolutely. All right, Matty Ice, how's your week, sir?
All good, man. Still about the same as last week. Sitting around that 7. Still got some things I'm trying to get together and figure out moving into this the fourth quarter of the year, end of the year. Stuff kind of gets slow with the ice cream business and the booking of the jobs and stuff like that. So working on some stuff with that, trying to figure some things out. But other than that, man, all is well. Definitely enjoy watching football on this Sunday, man. You know what I mean? Sit down, watch your team go out there and show off like that, man. You know what I mean? I wish I could have been in the building, but I definitely enjoy sitting down watching it. Love seeing Coach with the hat on, man. He almost coming back home, you know what I mean, to where he belong, you know what I mean? So we got the door open for you, man, if you want to be Commanders fan again. You know what I mean? So, well, Redskin fan, Commanders, burgundy and gold. Yeah. But, you know what I'm saying? And FanDuel definitely wasn't good to me, man. Lost a couple close ones, man, just by like one or two legs, man. That gets you every time. I did win my fantasy league on Underdog this week. So, but yeah, I would have had a great weekend if a couple of them parlays would have came through.
I smacked FanDuel this weekend. Shoot, I was psyched. But anyway, we're gonna get into, unfortunately, a Cowboy fan, so I don't want to hear about.
Oh man, I ain't know that.
They got a nice little squeaker out
They squeaked
yesterday.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah, that killed our dad mentality bet. You know what I'm saying? And I knew I should have cashed out, but I didn't. But yeah, so that killed our dad mentality bet. But Philip Page, so just give us a score from 0 to 10. How you feeling and what you looking forward to this week and what happened last week?
First of all, I just want to say something, man. I am a Cowboy fan, and I just ain't got used to this Commanders thing, man. You know how hard it is to be a Cowboy fan without no Indians? This shit just ain't real to me. But what it is, but like I said, I live between a 5 and a 8, because y'all really don't know me, but a little bit about me, man. I'm an ex-dope fiend. So I don't. I live where I don't let my attitude get too high or get too low. I live within my means. So I, I maintain between a 5 and an 8. When I get to a 10, I might feel like I got something going on that I really don't. If I get below that, I don't know where that's going to take me. So I got this little ratio that I live between. So right now I'm like a 7 or 8. I'm good, man. Like I say, my Cowboys pulled something. I ain't happy the way they did it. I ain't happy the way they look. But at the end of the day, a W is a W.
Yeah, win is a win.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have took that L though.
Yeah, that L cost me $240, man. I mean, that W you got that cost me that much. So, it's all good. Now, I still would have had to wait on the Chiefs game tonight, which I'm excited about as well. So, but now since you brought up, the dope fiend drug habit, let me ask you a question. Is that what started pushing you into going into being an advocate against gun violence and even birthing Streetline?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna clear. I did not birth Streetline. I affiliated myself with Streetline. I was already doing what I was doing, talking to the youth and doing this, that, and the other. But yeah, it played a big role into it, man, because at some point, man, I had to look back on my life and think about all the things I took and took and took. And I'm getting up in age, man. So you want to give something back, man, because I look at the young brothers, sisters, and everybody out there, man. From where I came, I know where they going. I know where that road is going to lead them. So I just want to, just kind of jump in the middle, man. If nothing else, be a road, be a bump in the road. Give them a minute to think about what they doing, which most of these young kids don't do, man. They ain't got nobody. I was talking to some buddies of mine. The streets have changed since I was out there. When I was out there, the older dudes would talk to the younger dudes just to try, you know, you know, try try to lend some kind of guidance, man. A lot of these kids ain't getting guidance at home. They ain't getting guidance in the streets, man. So, they ain't got a chance, man. So, at some point, man, as us being the elders of our communities, man, it's our obligation, to do what we can for them, man. Because, at the end of the day, ain't nobody coming to help them but us. So, it is what it is.
Okay. So explain to people what is Streetline,
Okay,
so that everybody can understand.
what Streetline does is Streetline is a call center, is a call line. Streetline is designed to reach out to the brothers and sisters, kids, adults, anybody who's hanging out on these corners and want to find a better way out. It's modeled after like the suicide hotline, all these other little hotlines, because at the end, a lot of people, man, contrary to popular belief, you see these dudes out there, man, but they don't really want to be out there. But they ain't got nowhere else to go. They ain't got no resources. They ain't got nobody to talk to. So what Streetline does is provide them an avenue, an anonymous avenue that they can pick up the phone, and talk about what's going on with them, talk about, like what can I do to better my life, or that I just don't want to do this no more. and you can do it anonymously. A lot of the problem is peer pressure. Peer pressure is hell. A lot of these brothers, man, they worry about what their friends and this gonna think. And with that being said, they make bad decisions for wrong reasons. You know, peer pressure is and as we all know, man, your life can change in a split of a second. So, so we want to give them some kind of avenue to, you know, at least know there's something better out there. You know, um, because it's like we've been there. We seen it. We've been there. And it's one thing, you got ministers, you got this, that, and them to talk to, but it ain't nothing like talking to somebody that's gonna walk through your shoes and know where your life decision is gonna take them. You know, knowing where that one bad decision is either gonna take you to prison or the graveyard. Okay. So, so that's what it is, man. That's what Street Line is. Street Line is at the end of the day, it's a call center. It's a 1-800 number. You call it up, you talk to trained counselors, and they're gonna point you in the right direction. If nothing else, man, a lot of these people just want somebody to say, I care about what's going on with you. And it's like they not hearing it at home. They not hearing it in the streets. Sometimes it's just enough to know that somebody gives a damn. So that's what Street Line is in a nutshell. I mean, there's a whole lot more to it than that, but in a nutshell, that's what it is. It's a rescue hotline.
Okay. All right. And so when you go out in the streets and you're working on Street Line, what is y'all like main demographic target people? Are you searching? Are you looking for? Because I mean, I read a little bit about Street Line, and I saw that it does it's not just a drug hotline. Like, oh, I
No,
have a
oh
drug
no, no,
addiction or anything
uh,
like that. But
uh, no.
but
It's
what do
a
you?
every it's a everything hotline because you know drugs, guns, sex, all that stuff is a problem out in the street, you know, and you can address one and you deal with something else. When I got clean, man, I was clean, but I still felt that draw to be called back in the streets. I was missing in corners. I was missing my boys. It wasn't enough for me to get clean. I had to clean up other areas in my life, so all that stuff is relative, so what Street Line does is, man, we don't turn anybody away. If you got a problem and we can help you, that's what we need to do. I mean, it's not like, I what my main objective is, I want to, stop some of this gun violence, but gun violence is only a symptom of another problem. Okay. Now, gun violence is I'm not naive enough to believe getting all the guns off the street is going to solve this, because you ain't going to never get guns off the street. So you got to deal with all the other issues. You got to deal with the issues of a bad home environment. You got to deal with the issue of, you know, um, bad education. You got to deal with the issue of hopelessness. You got to deal with the issue of despair. Man, hopelessness and despair is a recipe for disaster. So, with that being said, you got to deal with all these things. So, like I said, I primarily deal with gun violence, because that's the issue that's in the news all the time. That's the issue that people want to gravitate to and say, we got to clean this up. But at the end of the day, you got to look at all the underlying causes that cause this issue to happen. So, so we after everybody for everything. Man, if your girlfriend done kicked you out the house and you want to go home and beat her up, and you need somebody to talk to about that, call us up. It is what it is, man. You don't know what's gonna push you over the edge. So you just need to just call up and vent. We there.
Okay, Coach, you got anything you ask or you muted?
it sounds like a good, you know what I'm saying, good line, good, you know what I'm saying, out. I mean, um, and it's great that you guys are not just like taking it to homelessness, but you're taking it to any issue, right? You
Right,
know, because
right,
I think that's the biggest thing in our communities that are struggling with violence, poverty, drugs, anything, education, despair, and hopelessness, like you were talking about. I mean, the biggest thing is they don't know where to go for resources, and they don't know who to ask.
exactly.
You know what I mean? And and
Ooh,
and and a lot of them want help. A lot of people want help. And some don't, right? But the ones that want help, you know what I mean? You guys got a solution there that can kind of at least get them in the right direction, right?
That's right.
You know what I mean? And then that way they don't have to necessarily turn to the people in the community that aren't doing the right things, because
Right.
that's often what happens, right? You know what I mean?
Every,
That's what gets them.
every day. Every
You know what
day.
I mean? They don't have anything else to turn to, and then they turn to the people that actually do show them love. Because don't get it wrong, the hood will show you love,
It
right?
will.
You know what I mean? And but but I don't know if
It's
that love,
love, but it's love with a cost. Don't
correct,
forget that.
exactly.
It's love with a cost.
Yeah. So now I think it's definitely a absolutely a great program. You know, man. Now, are you guys just are you talking to people in DC, or are you talking to people anywhere?
Right now we're dealing with DC, but this is a problem it's everywhere, man.
Okay.
So, right now we're dealing with DC, but the plan is to expand nationwide, you know. But right now, we reaching out trying to get grants, this, that, and the other,
Hmm.
so we can do that. Right now we're a very small organization with big dreams, but like I said, you know, we try and expand. That's why we're reaching out to grant people, this, that, and the other. And we need help. We need brothers that had the same mindset, brothers and sisters that had the same mindset that want to jump in and help. I need people on the calls. I need people that want to get trained to take calls. I need people that want to know how to write grants. I need people to know how to get grants. I need everybody. This is not a me. This is not a Ricky. It's no big I's and little U's in this, man. We in this together, man. We're a community. We're a community that got to come together and help our community. So, like I said, I'm reaching out to everybody, man. You guys want to learn to take calls, take the little 2-day training to learn how to be on the call, Like I said, I'm reaching out, man. It is what it is.
Yeah,
all right.
totally agree.
Yeah.
What do you? Oh, sorry, Matt. You good?
No, go ahead. And I was just saying, it's definitely needed. You know what I mean? I agree with everything. You got to be able to have somebody to reach out to, because, like you said, most people don't have that person to talk to or feel like they
Right.
can't. And then the fact, like you said, is, what I mean, anonymous. Sometimes people are embarrassed about what they may be dealing with or
Exactly.
going through as well. So maybe they don't even want to reach out to somebody in their household if they are there. You know what I mean? So it's definitely something needed, man. Because like you said,
And,
times are definitely different.
and I'm gonna tell you this because the government, everybody talk about the government and all this. The government don't really give a damn. I'm gonna be real frank with you about that. Because I've met with the city council of the fourth district police department. It's a whole bunch of elderly people, old people there to talk about all the problems that we have in our community, this, that, and the other. I didn't see no youngins, I didn't see no kids there. And I was like, we sitting here talking about them. Where they at? We need them to tell us what they need from us to help them. Okay. And their response was, well, we invited them. And, I'm like, wait a minute. You invited them to come into a police
There you
station
go.
to
Hmm.
talk about their problems. Okay.
That part.
That's that's ridiculous. That's a setup. That says two things. First of all, you did not want them here. And then they can't come in here because they got brothers out there seeing them coming to the police station. I was there. I know what that does. So I mean, let's be real about it, man. Let's use some common sense, man. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say too, is because a lot of the times that when it comes to the young kids, they don't feel that a lot of the programs are safe for them. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And like you saying, having a program in a police station, nobody's going. That's a no go. To them, that feel
All,
like a setup right there. You know what I'm
all
saying?
day long, all day
Because
long.
as soon as they come in there, they're gonna be looking for warrants. So does this person have a warrant? Does that person have? Oh, this guy looks like somebody on here. It's not a safe place for them to come and meet and organize and then even have an opinion. Because if they have an opinion, then that can be held against them. To say that what they doing out in the streets and this, that, and the other. They have to have a safe place to go. Which,
And at the end of the day, they getting it on that the first thing they're gonna say when your buddies see you going to the police station.
yeah,
You snitching. Okay. Then they in danger on the streets. Come on now. Wake up.
absolutely, absolutely. So just to clarify, Street Line is anonymous and it is not government mandated or anything
Not
like that. This is
not
a safe
not
place.
at not at all. This program was created by dudes in prison. Okay, like Ricky. And Ricky created this joint when he was in prison. Ricky is the CEO of Streetline, Ricky Brown. He's the CEO of Streetline. He created this program to assist other prisoners when he was in prison. Okay. And when he got out, he saw the same need that they needed in there. That same need was needed in outside because he wanted, that that street to prison pipeline broken. So, and that's really what it is. Streets fund the police. I mean, streets fund the prison system. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, for real, there's really no incentive to stop it. So, it is what it
Well, I
is.
mean, prison
So,
is a business.
business is a business all day long.
So, they got to keep business. They got to keep business booming
Right.
somehow. So, all right. So now when it comes, so if a person is interested in helping and being a part of Street Line and spending the time and donating their time, what would be the steps for them to take?
Call me or Ricky up. I'll give you the number. Call me or Ricky up and just say you want to be a part of. Whatever you can bring to the cause, we need to help. If you want to be a phone counselor, if you want to, if you want to donate a little bit of money, if you want a way to talk to kids, if you got kids you want to talk to. I mean, anything helps, man, because this problem is too big to turn away anybody for anything. Anything you can bring to the table is helpful. I mean, if you see stuff that we missing, suggestions are always needed. I mean, we don't know every damn thing. So this is a program that's growing. This is a program that's in its infancy. So, like a kid, man, it got to be fed. It got to be fed. It got to be taught. So, you may see something we don't see. Sometimes standing away from a problem has a better vision than you being right up on it. So, you may see something we overlooking. So, we need everybody.
So my next question for you is, as a comedian, going out and traveling, doing all the things that you do, and being a great guy all around. I can definitely vouch for you on that. Phil, we have our girl Althea McFarlane, has been a regular on our show. I heard this. I heard about 2 weeks ago you saved her life from a matter of fact, she talked about it on the show. This is Phil that saved her life from her attempted kidnapping from the Uber. And you remember that, Coach, when you told her to sit behind the Uber driver from now on?
From now on.
Yeah. So Phil, Phil went and ran up there and got her out the Uber safely and everything. So, as a I guess I'm gonna say self-proclaimed glorified hero by Althea McFarlane. What do you feel? What's the greatest benefit for you that you feel that is the reason why you go out here and do these streets? Do you have a story that can tell us of a great accomplishment or something positive?
I mean,
or still?
the positive is, man, you might not even see the positive. I mean, you may talk to somebody, you may not even see the results of your action. You may talk to somebody and keep them from killing somebody. So you will never know it, but that person is still alive today because of what you may have said to them. I mean, it's not a glorified job. I'm gonna let you know that right now. We ain't making heroes here. And like I said, without them, man, I don't feel I did anything any more than any other brother would have did. You saw a problem, you jumped in and you helped. I mean, and that's what it's all about, man. We spend a whole lot of time being selfish and thinking we not involved in what's going on around us, man. We are definitely involved in what's going on around us. If we not involved with it, we can't complain about it. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. If you can't look, I need to be able to look up myself in the morning and say I did something to try to help somebody, and try to, I'm not standing on no Christian soapbox or anything, man. But I got to worry about how I'm gonna be judged at the end of the day, and it is what it is, man. I'm not gonna go to my maker and say I saw a problem and I could help it and I didn't do it. So that's where I'm at with this, man. That's my story. I don't know what nobody else motivation is. That's my story.
I understand, respect that. Fellas, y'all got anything to ask, or you good? Or?
Yeah, I got something to ask. Yeah, so what kind of when you go out, what kind of community events do you guys do for Streetline or anything?
Okay, we talk to kids. We talk to people in gyms. There's a lot of gyms around here that kind of do the same thing that we do. They you know, talk to in troubled youth and stuff. So we go in and talk to them, to try to bring them on board. Like I say, Streetline is just a condiment to something else. So
Got it.
really what we do is we try to reach out to other organizations that got stuff going on that we can point these people to. Okay. If you get, if you need a shelter, if you need somewhere to go, okay. We want to point you to somebody that's affiliated with us that we can send you to. If you need food, we want to point you to somebody that we're affiliated with. So, talking to people is a really small part of what we do. The big part is, we're trying to point people to help, you know.
So
So
building a network for people.
building networks, exactly.
Okay.
All right. Now the ice.
Makes sense. No, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Basically being just out in the community and help push people, like just being that. I like the the anonymous part of it. You know
Right.
what I mean? And then allowing people to help them find means of help for whatever problem they may be having.
Right.
And
Exactly.
like you said, it's got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? Like as far as you say, you're trying to grow it to become nationwide or bigger, where you can maybe have more resources to do more. But at the moment, it's like just being the hotline, that conduit to something
Right.
else, to
Exactly.
other things that's already kind of set up inside the area. And when you say DC only, is it like DMV, or is it like Maryland, PG County, or just strictly Washington?
Well, right now we're just dealing with Washington,
Okay.
but eventually I want to move to P. We want to move to PG. I mean, we want to spread this thing all out, man. And don't get it wrong. If they got the number, they see a flyer. I don't care where the hell they at. If they see a flyer, if they in PG County, they in Fairfax County, wherever they are. If they see a flyer with a number on it and they call, we're gonna try to help. We ain't turning nobody away.
Yeah, and I mean, and I, for me, I think it's just the great thing that, because a lot of times I really feel it's important that people just have somebody to talk to, and we talk about that on the show, especially with
Exactly.
that's the whole reason for our self-care check-in, because sometimes you just need to voice what's going on in your life
A whole
and
lot of the
talking about
time.
it, and even if somebody doesn't give you the answer, it's taking the stress off of being able to release that release that conversation. And that kind of brings me to this also. So we had Kenneth Clark on. I think you're familiar. I'm sure you're familiar with
Yeah, I
Kenneth
know.
Clark. He's
I
been
know.
on the Morning
Yeah,
Mac,
I know.
and
I
we
know.
talked about we talked about violence. And one of the biggest things I asked him, what was the thing to start with, that if you could start with to help with the violence in the area? And he said emotional education, teaching our youth about their
Exactly.
emotions and how to control their emotions. How do you feel about that? Or what do you think? How do you think emotions really deal with our culture and what you've seen in street line?
Emotions are everything. I mean, if you feel bad about yourself, you ain't gonna give a damn about nobody else. So the first thing, it's, I would love to say it starts at home, but a lot of times home is not everything is cracked up to be. So yeah, I mean, your emotions, man, there are more people in prison over their emotions than anything else. Emotions lead to that one mistake that gets them locked up for the rest of their life. So yeah, emotions is a big thing, man. You can change your life in 30 seconds over a bad decision. Okay, so if you can't deal with your emotions, you got a problem, man. That's where conflict resolution comes in, man. You know, I remember when I was growing up, man. We would fight, we would do this, that, and the problem would be over with. Now, you know, kids don't even fight no more. They go get guns. What kind of shit is that? Where did that come from, man? So, it's like, I came up through the crack war. And as bad as it was, people were getting killed, but not a lot of civilians were getting killed. Now they don't give a damn. They shooting everybody. So, I mean, where in the world in a civilized society 3-year-olds are getting shot? And we make it seem normal. We've normalized it. We make it look like, okay, you hear about it on the news a couple of days and it's gone. I mean, where in the world is that okay? And I can't accept it, man. I can't accept that's normal. And so, it is what it is. Emotions are everything, man. Kenneth is right. Emotions are everything.
Yeah. So is because I mean, emotional intelligence. We and I mean we've talked about it on the show, and I've started really, even after that show with Kenneth, started really thinking about it, and even working on my own emotional intelligence, and knowing that, when it comes to that, I'm still an infant. You know what I'm saying? I Because it takes a lot to be able to understand your own emotions and how somebody else can, not allowing other people to control them or other devices. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be, drugs, alcohol, whatever the case may be, control them also. So, it's just something that I was wondering, maybe there's some type of emotional awareness training or something like that that could be done for people, in
Well,
starting with that.
that falls under mental illness and mental care, which we don't have the expertise to do that. I mean, I would love it if we did, but emotions is a detrimental characteristic in the street. You know, it's like, you know, you you want to cover up your emotions, or cover, you don't want to be viewed as a sucker or something like that, man, or you soft. So that mentality has to change. Okay. And in a perfect world, like I talk to my kids, I explain to them, man, I need y'all to be leaders, not followers. I need you to try to think through a situation rather than react to a situation. But
Hmm.
that's in my house. But a lot of kids ain't getting that, So I mean, yeah, emotions is good, man. Emotions is a big issue, but what are you going to do about it? I mean, and then a lot of stuff is, I hate to say it, a lot of stuff is emotional illness too. So And our society has gotten to a point where, you know, you got damaged people trying to teach damaged people. Okay.
Mm.
Now, if you 3 generations of in on damaged people, your mother damaged, your grandmother damaged, you know, that's all you know. Some way that cycle has to be broken. And, it's not an easy solution, but to resolve this issue, it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I agree. We talk about that all the time about how your mental affects everything. How people react to stuff instead of responding because it's all they know. That's how they've been reacting
That's
to
all they
stuff
know.
for
Exactly.
years. So they always maybe go this way. But if they was to think about it, they could handle it differently. But that
Exactly.
comes with a lot of stuff like being able to express themselves sometimes because when people don't know how to express themselves or talk about what's going on, it comes out in another way. Sometimes that way could be through violence, you know what I mean? So yeah, that emotional part of it is huge. You know what I mean? You can see that with just kids, you know what I mean? Nowadays, look like little kids, like the way they temper tantrums just flick off. Like there's no, you know
Yep.
what I mean, no type of home training, you know what I mean? Like you said, we got broken people, you know what I mean, teaching wrong things to their kids, you know what I mean, already. So, you know what I mean,
Yep.
home training ain't what it used to be. Used to have the big mamas and grandmamas, you know what I mean, kind of helping straighten it out. You know what I mean? Certain things you wouldn't even do in front of your parents or your grandparents. But now, like it seems like all of that is out the window. So it's just anything. So people are doing anything. You know what I mean?
I
And
got a friend that was a DC principal. She took me in her office one day and showed me all the weapons they had confiscated from the kids. You would not believe it. Okay. And that's what schools are dealing with. Okay. Just think what they dealing with before they get to school. Okay. So I mean, it's like, you know, it is what it is, man. We got to do better, man. We got to do better as a people, and and I'm not saying as a people. I'm not really saying, I'm not. Dude, this is not a racial thing. This is not a cult. This is not a gender thing. This is not a sexual orientation thing. This is a people thing. We got to do better as a people.
Yeah, you got it's it's humanity, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's caring
Exactly.
for each other, looking out for each other. You know what I'm saying? Taking care of each other. You know what I'm saying? Emotionally. I mean, I think that all you guys have hit, you know what I'm saying, some good points. I mean, the lack of discipline in the household, you know what I'm saying, leads to reactionary issues. You know what I'm saying? Half the time, most people are reacting to stuff, a situation, because they got something completely different on their mind. And it's causing that
Mhm.
reaction, right?
Yep.
Uh, and so it's really kind of getting to the core issue of, you know what I'm saying, but of what they see on a consistent basis. You know what I'm saying? What they hear on a consistent basis, and if you start changing that back, to because I mean, even though when we grew up in the you know what I'm saying 80s and 90s, I think we talked about this last week, Rodney, and Maddie, the whole drug dealer versus doing drug thing that we talked about last week.
Yeah,
And,
being
and, and
the drug dealer
mhm.
music versus drug
yeah,
user music.
I mean, you just think about the change in music and what that teaches our young folks, right? You know what I mean? You think about that. You talk about, I mean, yeah, they hear everything about gun violence, but they still see school shootings, right? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And they still see all of the bad things, but they never see the good things, right? Like it's okay to be a
And
gun owner. Like it's okay to own guns, right? You know what I'm saying? It's actually a right in the U.S., but you don't see the good things about. All you hear is gun violence, right? Or you don't understand. You're not educated properly in guns, right? These kids aren't educated. I'll be straight up with you, like teaching the parents to teach their kids how to shoot. most of the time isn't going to be gun violence, right? You know what I'm saying? Proper education of it, it will definitely, you know what I'm saying, help the gun violence issue. Now, when you get into neighborhoods that you're dealing with illegal guns and dealing with all this stuff, and they're being taught by the wrong people about it, then these are the results that you're going to get. So it's definitely a tough situation because it's not just one thing like we talked about in the beginning that is the issue. It's all of it combined. And but the thing about it is everything that's combined is still negative, if that makes sense, right? So hope is negative to these communities. You know what I'm saying? Despair is a negative. Music is negative. The media is negative, right? You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Social media is negative, right? School is negative. So like, at what point is anybody, especially from a young the youth, seeing positive? Right now, there are a lot of positive things going on in the same communities, but that's not what we
hear about them.
that's not what we glorify, right? If we
Never hear about
that, that is a start in the change, because that will bring people to the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
So,
and sometimes you gotta point these people to the good stuff.
yes.
I mean, you know, like the media is does not sell headlines. I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, exactly.
For a hot second, but not consistently. Okay, you got
people
kids
like
that's
drama.
people like drama. You got kids out here doing great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you hear about it? You hear about the dude that just shot up 6 people. You know, he's a hero. Well, not a hero, but the way they talk about it is, like they turn bad into news. They turn good into, nothing. It's like, and I'm not saying it's our mentality. We gravitate towards the bad. I mean, more than we gravitate towards the good.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was having my comedy show to combat gun violence, I realized something, that a lot of people, they say they care, but they're afraid. They're afraid to speak up. They're afraid to get involved. They're afraid to be part of the solution. They just want to sit back and talk about the problem. So they want to talk about the problem till they're a victim of it. Okay. And, you know, and then I'm not going to say it's too late, but then, somebody's life has ended, or something bad has happened to somebody where you could have jumped in and been a part of the solution, and maybe you would have saved a life. I feel like if I save one person, my job is done. That one person could grow up and change the world, but I got to give them that chance. So, yeah. So it is what it is, man. We talk a good game, but most people don't want to be a part of it. You don't never hear them say, "Put me in, coach." Nah, they want to sit on the sideline and watch the game. But
I mean, it's always a lot easier to watch than to actually do something. You know what I'm saying?
it is.
And then,
but then what is the result of that, man?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well,
and to be
like
honest,
said,
I don't know what
the community though, and where you can help at. Like sometimes, like you said, if you just helping one or two people, hopefully those one or two people are your kids, if you got young kids in your household, and showing them the right way. So you know what I mean. It starts at home if there is a positive home life. You know what I mean. So we start there and getting, maybe like family counseling, so families can do better with one another. You know what I mean. Teach families how to be families again and support one another, and just the household in general.
Yeah, just like when my kids were growing up, man. I talked to my son, but not only to my son, talk to my son's friends. Okay. So, we are a village. we have lost as black people. We have a village mentality. We were raised in villages when we were back in Africa. Everybody looked out for everybody. But our issue is, and I hate to say it, we wanted so much what white people had and so much of what other people had. We lost what we had. We lost the caring for our own.
Nah, I
But with
agree.
that, yeah. But
Nah,
that
I
goes back. But that go also goes back to we trying to help everybody.
I definitely agree with you on a lot of things you said. You know, and I mean, but the thing is, you know, also we talked about is that a lot of it now is kids teaching kids. You know what I'm saying? And it takes like it took
But
me a long time to get that emotional because I mean when I was a kid I was hot headed too. You know what I'm saying? I was
yes,
there was a point where me and coaches pastors sat us down and told us that if we didn't if we didn't separate we was going to either end up in jail together or dead together. You know what I'm saying? And they took him to sit there, you know, shout out to Pastor Dorsey. You know, it took him to sit us down and have that real life conversation where we had to really think about it and start making some different choices in our lives. And luckily, but I also feel like every kid is going to go through that age where they kind of got to figure it out for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because but the great thing is I was blessed. I know Coach was blessed to be with a great mother and father and a church going family that eventually once you scrape your knee enough, you go back to what you know. You know what I'm saying? You go back to that original teaching that you were taught. And I feel that a lot of people, a lot of these young kids are being raised by kids, so what they're being taught are kid things. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, don't let nobody ever disrespect you. Don't let nobody ever talk to you that way. This, that, and the other. You know, I had an incident this week with my daughter. Now my daughter's never been in a fight, and she's a great. She's a she got a 3.8 GPA. She's in a nursing program. She's about to go to college and this that and the other. And she was telling me that some girl was mad because she told the truth. And I was like, well, you can't help that. And I was like, but I said, but you also have a lot to lose. So
Right.
don't lose everything you worked for just because some girl's talking about you. Like those words, the only way those words have power is if you give it to them. If you give those words power. Other than that, they don't have any power at all. Like you don't care in the real grand scheme of things. You don't care about nothing that girl's saying. You know what I'm saying? You care about finishing your education, going to school, doing great, and doing those great things. Those are the real things that you need to be focused on. So don't give them power. And it was a good conversation when it turns out that nothing really happened anyway because the girl actually just said she was having a bad day. It had nothing to do with my daughter. She came to her and told her that. You know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with you. I was not. She was like, I got other stuff going on. That's exactly what she said to her. You know what I'm saying? And they had a conversation after that. And a lot of times, like when we started this whole thing off, sometimes people just need a conversation. A lot
Sometimes
of things, if you can take the emotion out of it and actually have a conversation, a lot of stuff can be solved without violence.
it can be solved. And I mean, I'm an example, man. I think about an incident that happened to me about a couple of months ago, man. It made me realize I run around talk about all this, but I still got a lot of street in me. A dude rolled up with me and I guess he felt like I was robbable. And, you know, and once he found out that wasn't the best idea he was gonna have that day, but then I thought about it once I got my truck, everything was over with. I'm like, I was ready to make a bad decision for the wrong reason that could have affected. I'm sitting here talking to people about what not to do, and I'm getting ready to do exactly what I'm telling them not to do. So, you got to always be on your game, man, because people are watching you too. I could have been locked up in jail, and they would have said, "That's the dude that's running around talking about gun violence." I mean, So, you know, you also got to take accountability for your actions, man. None of us are perfect. You know, things do happen. And fortunately enough, I had the mental tools and stuff to work through it without this getting escalated and me not feeling like a punk afterwards. So I had to throw that in because, like I said, I went street. So, you know, then I started feeling bad about myself. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Now that's gonna happen though, but that's when that's them self-check moments, you know, when you check yourself like, hey, that
Right.
person got me, you know what I mean, out of my character, or you know what I mean, hey, but you like you said, it's still gonna be in the street, ain't gonna never leave you. But that also helps you to be able
Right.
to relate
Exactly.
to those you trying to help, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Nah, for sure, man. Hey, look, don't fill a page, man. I do this show and I have to still check in, man. And like I said, my emotional intelligence is still in its infancy. You know what I'm saying? Because I have to check myself all the time.
I know
You know what
that's
I'm
right.
saying? Like it ain't. And I mean, and it doesn't matter. We had a guest. We had our guest, my man Sergeant Garrett, who also talked about emotion, the same thing, that emotional intelligence. I really feel that, I guess that's like been our theme for a while now, but I really feel like, even myself, I've come a long way, but it's still, that old me still be sitting back there waiting. You
Still
know what I'm
sitting
saying?
there.
He's
Still
still sitting
sitting
there,
there.
and and it's hard to do, even so. Imagine these kids that are not even close to us, as far as emotionally
Exactly.
intelligent,
Exactly.
how
Exactly.
difficult it is to talk to them and tell them, that it's not worth it, to calm down. It's okay. It's okay to be upset, but don't let that emotion control you. You know what I'm saying? And bring you to do something that you don't want to do, or bring you back to a place that you don't want to go. Because I've talked to a lot of them. I talked about my nephew and this, that, and the other that
Right.
I've
Right.
worked with, where he's told me I don't want to do it. Like, I'm trying my best. I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? But then when I'm
Right.
out in the streets, I can't help it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I just can't just let somebody talk about somebody I love like that, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times it's stupid stuff. Oh, he stepped on my shoes. Oh, I don't like the way he looked at me. Oh, he bumped me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Where all that stuff is just what? And a lot of times you got something else going on in your household or in your life that's bigger, but something in the streets happened to trigger it. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, I think the maddest I ever been was one time when a dude wouldn't let me in. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to switch lanes and he wouldn't let me in. And then he was sitting there with the window rolled down, and I ain't gonna say what I said to him, but afterwards, I was hot. But it was just it's just little stupid stuff like that where you sit there and you go, why? Why did I let that trigger me? You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
9 times out of 10, it's always because of something else that's going on in your life. So, shout out, my advice to anybody is, man, get some get some emotional. It takes time though. You got to
It
practice it.
takes time.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got emotional intelligence has to be practiced. It
Yeah.
can't be learned overnight, and it can't be something that's it ain't gonna be 100%. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have a bad day, but
All the time. All the time.
hopefully you can stop some of them. So I do have a couple videos that I wanted to pull up. Um, and once again, Phil, I thank you for joining us. I thank you for coming out.
Appreciate y'all, man.
But
Appreciate
we're
y'all.
gonna I'm gonna show you a couple videos, because the videos do have to do with emotional intelligence. So I do want to bring those up and show them to the group, and then we'll discuss them afterwards. And then we're gonna do our terrible football picks. So I still haven't got my money back yet. So we're gonna hopefully I can make some money this come up. But let me get this pulled up, and then we'll talk about it.
Resonate with that idea that black people therapy being so taboo to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, what it was is I was introduced to the concept of emotional intelligence.
Word.
And that kind of blew my mind. Doors for me because I'm like, wow, like we really wasn't taught this. How important it is to identify your own emotions in relation to the people around you. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, we might just wake up in a bad mood and you wearing that mood. And now your household is feeling that mood.
Facts, yeah.
And you don't even realize you just passed that mood on to your son. Now your son is in school with that mood and he passing that on to, you know what I'm saying? Like energy is so contagious. And once I kind of like realized that, it started to, you know, open little pathways in my brain, like damn, even identifying with frustration as an emotion. You know what I'm saying? Like you tell a lot of black men, if you tell a black man, yo, you being emotional, that's like offensive.
Word.
But people don't realize that, yo, if you angry, if we having a conversation, you just screaming because you mad, you're in your emotion. You know what I'm saying? People get emotionally hijacked every day, B.
That's right.
Every day, like blinded by emotion, blinded by rage. So I just kind of started on that path of understanding myself more because I grew up, I had like anger issues and stuff like that. It was hard to me to identify a lot of things that I was feeling.
Did you figure out where that anger came from?
Now I think now that I think about it, looking in hindsight, I think a lot of it came from when my parents split. You know what I'm saying? And me not knowing how to process that and then manifesting into something else. Like me trying to find a reason for it elsewhere.
Word.
You know what I mean?
I came to that same realization in therapy. Like I didn't realize how much my parents divorcing had impacted me and how angry I was at my pops for that.
Word up. You know what I'm saying? So that should have do something to you, especially as a black man. You know what I mean? Because now you got that separation from your father, and it's like you need your father as a black man, especially in this fucking world.
So that was just something that Joey, shout out to Joey Badass. I don't know if y'all familiar with him. I like his music. I like him as a person and artist anyway too. But, you know, I felt that conversation was real. Like, you know, because a lot of people deal with this. A lot of these youth today are definitely dealing with separation in their home. You know what I'm saying? And separation in their home can be a huge trigger for a lot of people. And I feel that is something that you know, us as a culture can need to talk about and even have that conversation. But you know, how did you feel about that, Matty? How did you feel about what he said?
Yeah, I done listened to a couple Joey interviews where he kind of talks about stuff like that, man. It's very important, rings true. How he said about how energy is contagious, like how like if you wake up on a bad day and then you take it out on your household or whatever, then they leave out when they go out into the world, you know, upset. So that may, you know, trigger something. And then, like you said, and then the more you do it, it becomes a kind of ingrained unconscious habit that you begin to where you just always kind of angry, you know what I mean? And certain things can trigger you. So that's where that reacting instead of responding comes in, because you get triggered by, you know, certain things. You might not even know or notice it or know that you're doing it until someone either brings it to your attention or you become self-aware that you're doing it. You know what I mean? So I think it's very important for everybody to work on, I guess, you know what I mean, that new term, emotional intelligence, you know what I mean, be aware of your emotions. Like, why am I feeling like this? And sometimes you got to ask yourself that question, like, why? Is it that serious? Should I be, you know what I mean? When you feel yourself getting to a certain point or feeling a certain type of way. Sometimes it might not be till after, but you can still take account and be aware so you can, you know, try to do it different the next time. So yeah, very important.
Coach?
Yeah, I mean, I think his point was really good. You know what I mean? Like as a parent, you know what I'm saying, you giving that energy to your child, right? And your child taking that energy to school or taking that energy out in the streets, right? You indirectly impacted your child's whole day with that, just based on your emotion and your frustration. And then, you know what I'm saying? And the same thing is what Philip was talking about earlier. What if you tell your child to be a leader and not a follower? And they leading with that emotion and they got followers behind them.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? So you see how that whole thing just connected, right? You know what I mean? So, and I think that's a problem with a lot of communities that are struggling with violence and households that are struggling with just, you know what I'm saying, different things. I think a lot of that energy is transferred amongst the house.
Absolutely. Phil?
You know, sometimes this shit gonna sound crazy, but sometimes I feel like being a dope fiend was the best thing that ever happened to me because I had to learn tools to manage my emotions. I can't get too high. I can't get too low because I don't know what's going to take me back out there. But with that being said, I had to learn that I can't control nobody but me. And once I really realized that and started believing that, man, my life changed because, we sit around and try to change the whole world. And really, all you got to do is deal with you. So, I mean, you got to know where you are emotionally. You got to know where you are, what kind of energy you putting out. Is this going to be detrimental to you? Is this going to be detrimental to the people around you? So I try to monitor myself every day to know what kind of mood I'm in because I've been cleaning for 30 years, man, and I still follow the same principles that I followed when I came out of treatment. Because, like I said, emotions will kill you. So, I mean, yeah. So, like I say, I am thankful that I live by certain tools.
Hey man, shout out to 30 years sober, dog. Hey, I'm glad to hear that, brother. Let me give you a quick round of applause for that, man. My brother has many years of being sober. Anytime anybody say they're sober, I always want to make sure that I recognize it. Don't let them know when they tell how long they've been sober, because I know it's every day, man. You gotta take it one
Every
at a time,
every
every
day,
day.
every day.
Every day. So here you go. I got another clip. This one about emotional intelligence too. So you just give a little more information, a little clarity.
Emotional intelligence is so important is because somebody that is emotionally intelligent and sound understands what is happening inside of them. They understand and they're aware of the emotions that are coming up within them. And when they understand what's coming up inside of them, they're not reactive. Instead, they allow those emotions to process, they allow themselves to feel them, and then they're able to have a conversation with you about what they're feeling versus getting into defense or attack mode. When you're dealing with someone that is not emotionally intelligent, what you're actually dealing with is a wounded human being, someone that is wounded in the version of themselves, and someone that is living as the child version of themselves that is still wounded. So every reaction, every discussion, everything, if it leads to an argument or a fight or a disagreement, it's because they're being defensive, because they were wounded as a little boy and as a little girl, and they never healed that part of them. They never healed that story, and they're still living out that story today.
All right. Phil, how you feel about that?
Damaged people hurt, damaged people do damage. So, I mean, he's absolutely right, man. Um, you live hurt people live that out every day, and you know, and a lot of times they don't even realize it, man. So, a lot of times it's done got so much, it's done gotten so bad, it's the norm to them. So, yeah, like I said,
Yeah, I
man,
agree. A lot
and
of
that
times they don't, but a lot of times people don't know they're still damaged.
they
Like they
don't.
think they over it. They think
They
they over it. They have no
they
idea.
think that
For
they
me, for
have.
years, I've talked about on the show that I have abandonment issues. Until my therapist told me, he was like, you do have until he told me, I didn't even realize it. I didn't realize how it
Mhm.
played in my day to day, dog. Like I didn't even realize it, how it
Yep.
played to my day to day. I thought I was over it. Shit, my father
Mhm.
died. My father died 30 years ago now. You know, 35 almost years ago. So, you know, I thought for a long time I was over it. Like, I'm good, but it turns out I never was. I still turned into that 11-year-old who was damaged. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Who was damaged. And that's exactly what I did. When I turned into that 11-year-old, I went out and damaged. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And not even others, even myself. That's when I would go binge drinking. That's when I would go doing all this stuff just to cover up that feeling, that feeling. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. So, Coach, how you feel?
Nah, man, I definitely think that, you know what I'm saying, it's back to what we said about even the last one. You got to take care of yourself, you know what I mean? And you got to heal yourself, and understand yourself. And when you start improving yourself, your emotional intelligence will rise, right? You know what I'm saying? Your reaction will be different to every single situation once you identify those things.
Yep.
All right. Well, Maddie?
Yeah, I like the say emotional awareness. You know what I mean? Like you being aware, like the guy was saying, like you can feel them. You can feel, are you aware how you feeling those emotions coming up? So then you can discuss them. You know what I mean? Like I said, why are you feeling like this? So I would like to call it being emotionally aware, or you emotionally unaware. And then I guess once you're aware, you know what I mean, that your emotional intelligence begins to go up, because now you know how to deal with and maybe process the emotions better, so you can respond instead of reacting. You know what I mean? Or like he was saying, or or getting on defense about something. You know what I mean? The getting on defense turns into anger or argument. So I definitely, so being emotionally aware, I would say, man, just make sure you're aware of how you're feeling and why you're feeling like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, fellas, we get ready to get into the terrible picks, but I got one more video I'm gonna show y'all. This just goes back to the last week about Reese. I found this video as I was searching, and I was like, yeah, I gotta shout out to Reese in the Morning Max show. We love you. When we talked about motherhood and kids growing up and learning for themselves, because this was shared by the great Mrs. Obama. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show this for Reese real quick. Then we'll get into our terrible picks. We don't gotta discuss it.
Friends. Once you decide you want your child to be your friend, now you're worried about them liking you.
That's right.
And there's so much of parenting that has nothing to do with them liking you. Your kids have to learn how to live in their unhappiness, and they have to learn it in their house. Their first bout of unfairness can't be at school or when they're 30. We're not friends.
So yeah, that was just not saying that Reese said that as being friends, but still cooking for your kid. Maddie Ice in the same boat, still cooking for your kids when they all old and stuff. Nah, tell them go out there and learn, pick up their pot on their own, man. But it's all love. It's all love. So we're gonna go ahead and kick this over. Coach, you got our terrible picks this week. Let me open up FanDuel and see.
Oh yeah, we're gonna start off gate. Like Commanders up going up to B-more. Are y'all about that B-more life?
Yes, we are.
Oh, you talk for yourself, sir.
Hey, I'm calling it. I'm going for that. I'm going for that upset. We winning.
Hey,
we winning.
So there's one thing that I don't like, that I dislike more than the Commanders. It is the Ravens, bruh. I do not like the Ravens, dog. Like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I think Lamar Jackson is a great athlete. I think he's a franchise guy. I think he's one of the best football players out there. With Derrick Henry, they're a major problem now.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Without Derrick Henry, they didn't have enough to win.
Yeah, but Derrick Henry is that dude.
He's that dude. Right? You know what I'm saying? He's that dude, right? So if
you don't think so, Phil? If you don't agree, we can argue. We argue about this, so you can interrupt now.
Only thing I need to say, I am so pissed. I'm pissed at the Cowboys. Derrick Henry should have a star on his helmet right now. I don't know how they let that. I don't know how they let that slip away. Man, I am so pissed at them about that. I don't give a damn if they win another game this season. They screwed that deal up.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry Jones. We appreciate that. We did not want him in the division.
So if I had to pick this week, I would pick Washington.
Really? For the upset?
Yeah, I think
the Commanders are plus 6.5. They said they're gonna beat about 7 points.
Nah, I don't think they're gonna beat them at that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hate to tell y'all, I watched that Ravens game, and our corners are not good enough to stop anything that Lamar got going on. Because Lamar gonna break, and next thing you know, they're gonna be wide open, flying down the field. And our corners and our safeties are not good enough to stop Baltimore, in my opinion. That ain't going to happen. And I'm not going to say I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but ultimately our corners are not going to be able to keep up. They're not. They're going to get cooked.
Baltimore secondary is trash.
They trash too. They went well. What you call was picking them apart. He was too.
They are
trash. It's trash.
But I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to beat Baltimore at Baltimore. I don't think it's going to happen. Like, I mean, we've been riding on a high star. That joint's going to end. I mean, we've been riding, high, but it's going to end in Baltimore. They ain't going to let that happen. But I mean, they did get beat up by Cincinnati, so they might be tied.
They done had some bad beats, and they just won in overtime the other day. So they not unbeatable. That's why I said I think we can get them. And I'm you know what I mean.
You think they can stop Lamar?
If y'all get them, it's gonna be because of Lamar.
You think they can stop Lamar and Derrick Henry? You think
no, I don't. I think Derrick Henry's gonna be the problem, but I don't think Lamar is gonna be a problem for Washington.
I think Derrick Henry is gonna soften it up enough so Lamar can do what he got to do.
So you saying Baltimore?
I'm saying Baltimore.
And what did you say, Maddie? Maddie? No, I'm not asking Maddie. You said Washington. That means I got to pick Washington. I can't even press the button. We might have to go to a different game. I'm gonna have to put a veto.
Oh no, we bet on this game.
It's been a couple weeks. It's been a couple weeks you ain't want to pick Washington, and you see what's good.
Man, y'all trying to. I ain't even putting $20 on this. I'm gonna put $10. Go ahead. All right.
All right. So that was the hard pick of the week. Right, Texas at Patriots. Easy Texas. Yeah. All right, Texas, Browns at the Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles, especially how the Deshaun looking.
All right,
Deshaun out for the season. He ain't coming back. He done.
Yeah, he done.
He out for the season. He done.
Didn't they bench him? Is that who they benched him? Right.
Yeah. They said he got hurt. They said he hurt. He hurt for the season.
I ain't even hear that today. From the game on Sunday, he said he got hurt.
Yeah, they were talking about it earlier. They said he hurt. They really probably benched him, but they going with the hurt line.
They don't want to explain that $270 million. You know how much they gave him?
Exactly. They don't want to have to explain that.
All right. So they just lying to the Cleveland fans. Even though half the Cleveland fans probably wanted that to happen.
Yep.
All right, so who we at? All right, so we got the Eagles again beating the Browns.
You got
Houston beating the Patriots.
Falcons and Panthers.
Falcons.
Making it easy. Falcons gonna win that.
All right, Falcons, go ahead.
Lions at the Cowboys. Y'all thought y'all got away. Y'all thought y'all got away.
I'm gonna say the Cowboys. I'm gonna say the Cowboys just cause I'm loyal, but Lions are no joke.
Lions. They're predicting the Lions to win by 3.
Yeah, I'm choosing Detroit.
Yeah, I ain't picking the Cowboys. I think Detroit should win that. Cowboys squeaked away. Said it's in Detroit too?
No, it's in Dallas.
I'm picking the Cowboys as just a good faith gesture.
That is hilarious, dog. So I went back and changed. Hold on. I went back and changed the Baltimore Ravens game to see if to put the Ravens to win. $20 only wins me $70 with all 5 because they all think it was so bad.
Yeah, they 7-point favorites.
But then if I change it to Washington and put the rest of the bet the same, $20 wins me $200.
Mm-hmm.
Now you want to pick
210.
us.
No, I don't want to pick it either way. Shit. I wish the Redskins game was the last game of the day. That way I could cash out beforehand.
It's very first joint.
No,
But it's the first one, so we'll be out on the first one, and I'll blame y'all on that. But if not,
I think we're gonna win by 3. Like it's gonna be like 38-41.
But only because they spent so much energy against the Cincinnati, I think we might have a chance. But I don't know, man. The way Lamar was willing that game to win, man. If he do that against the Skins, if he got that same energy he had against Cincinnati, we ain't winning. That's for sure. That's all I got to say about that. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this $20 bet in for $210. And then we're gonna go ahead and end this show so we can check out this the Kansas City Saints game. I didn't want to keep everybody too long, so we missed that. Hey, next week, fellas. Well, matter of fact, just stick around because I do got to talk to y'all about that next week. But I do want to give one more quick shout out before we go. Let me pull it up on my screen, and then we can end it. Fellas, get your Sauce in the City T-shirt. This is the T-shirt I'm wearing right now. Hold on, let me pull me up real quick. I'll show me real quick with my shirt so everybody can see it. Where it says "Let me finish." That's a great statement. If y'all haven't watched it, she also has a game show that she produces, and it's comedians from all around the world come together to play in this comedy game show and have a good time. So if you haven't never checked it out, please check it out. She's a great person. You can follow her, Brenda Brown, the Chocolate Child, or also go to Sauce in the City on YouTube. I know it's on Roku and a bunch of other places where you can watch this comedy game show where I have been on old and won a couple of them, but unfortunately I've been busy during this season, so I haven't been able to show up as much as I would love to, but let me tell you, it's a great thing to sponsor. They're going to be doing it live in Vegas, December 6th, where you can go out there and see that. And Philip Page, you're going to be out there too, right, sir?
I'm definitely going to be out there. I've been out there for the last 2 years.
So, it's just one more shout out to her. She's been in the comments all day. You can also see in the comments where you can find that link and come and get your shop on. I'll put the link right there where you can just go in there, get your shop on, get your shirt. It supports her show, supports against cancer, and a lot of great things. So the money is going to great causes. Make sure you check that out. You can also make sure you go see my man. If you're in the area, you can go see my man Philip Page in Aberdeen, Maryland, where you can see him. Hold on, let me pull up all that info real quick, just so if I can find it. What did I do with it? You sent me the joint, right?
Yeah, I sent
it's gone now. You sent it on something else. All right, don't worry about it. I ain't ready. Anyway, Aberdeen, Maryland. I know it's on the 12th and
the 12th of October.
Yeah, but where they can follow you on what pages?
You can follow me on Facebook on Philip Page. You can also follow me on Let's Get Ready to Funny Productions. You can follow me on Instagram on LAGT_funny on Instagram.
All right, so I pulled it up now. Aberdeen, Maryland, October 12th. It's gonna headline is Kobe Jack, also hosted by Poppy the Bear. Phil Page will be there. Another friend of the show, JoJo Baby, will be there. Miss Drez will be there. Of course, the one and only that we love to death, Strong Arm, Althea McFarlane will be there. Also, Blue Half. I think you said Miss Drez isn't going to be there anymore, right?
Yeah, Miss Drez dropped out. Yeah,
okay. Dropped out. But it's going to be at 821 Old Philadelphia Road, Aberdeen, Maryland, at the VFW.
We're gonna have a fish fry afterwards, so come on out, get some grub on. Show gonna be nice, man. My man, Kobe Jack gonna be there from Philadelphia. He's from the Apollo HBO. So we gonna turn it up, man. We're gonna have a good night.
And where y'all gonna be in? Where you gonna be in DC?
I'm gonna be at Sully's on October the 28th, on 11th and U. Sully's nightclub, 11th and U. What else I got going on? Hey, I'm putting together my barbershop show, which is going to be on October the 28th at 2 Mac Barbershop up on Georgia Avenue. It's going to be a day show. So, I mean, you ain't doing nothing during the day. You want to come through, get your funny on, get your hair cut, bring your lady through, get her hair done. Somebody need to get some braids, come on through. I'm still working on the lineup, but give me a couple of days. I'm going to have my lineup out, but I guarantee you that junk going to be fire.
All right. And, follow him. Hey, thank you again, Philip Page. It was a great conversation today.
Appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you coming out and spending time with us here at Dad Mentality. And, let's
man. Anytime.
Hail to the Commanders. God bless. Good night.
All right. Later.